Hi everyone, I'm Becky,
And I'm Sarah.
and we're doing Bickering Book Reviews. Today we're talking about The Boy Toy by Nicola Marsh, which I think I got off of
Nick
NetGalley.
Galley.
I think
Nick
I got it off
Galley.
of NetGalley. Okay, so this is an Australian romance book, which we
With
picked.
American undertones or overtones or tones of some sort.
Yes. Well, and I picked this because like years ago I had read a book by the author, which was Nicola Marsh, if I didn't say that. And she'd written a YA book, and I really liked the YA book. So when I came across this on NetGalley, I was like, let's try this. I haven't read any of her adult stuff. And so this book is about Samira Broderick, who's 37 years old. She was born in Australia. Her mother is Indian. Her father was American, but they lived in Australia. And when she was like in her early 20s, it wasn't completely an arranged marriage, but she was strongly encouraged to marry someone who turned out not to be a nice guy. And she keeps saying a teenager, pregnant, and left her. So she moved to,
19.
what?
She was a teenager. She was 19.
Yeah, she was 19. So she moves to LA. She's a physical therapist. She gets a really good job. She's doing good. And her cousin is opening this huge like medical complex in Australia. So she comes back to help open this complex for 6 months. And like the first night she's there, she meets Rory, who is a young Australian stunt coordinator or stunt man who has an accent or who has a stutter. He has a stutter. I don't know what I'm saying right now. Who has a stutter. And
Look,
they like hook up in this bar and everything's great. And then he's trying to get a job where he has to speak. And so he gets sent to a dialect coach, which happens to be Samira. And they say, we can't do this. It's not professional. So he starts seeing somebody else in the practice, but they just keep hooking up. And it kind of goes from there.
if you want sexy times, this is that book. Like, there are a lot of sexy times in this book.
Um,
Um, I typically tend to stay away from books like these because it feels like those midlife crisis books where they're like finding themselves and, being happy. But like, I actually like this better than I typically like the midlife crisis books. So
and I think the reason I kind of like this book was because she was like a full like adult.
yes.
Like she had a career, she had a family, she didn't care about all this other stuff.
Well, and she thought like an adult because
Yeah.
there are adults who have adult jobs and adult lives, but they don't act like adults. And she had the responsibility, she had the the kind of awareness and the thought process of an adult.
Well, and I think also he was younger, but like he was a mature younger and
Right.
he had like things he cared about and it wasn't just like hookups and woo cake stands.
The
Um
only problem I think with this is the author definitely kind of began a lot of different plot points and never actually finished them. And there were plot points that were kind of unnecessary. And it's like, well, why are we even spending time with this if you're never really going to fully flesh it out or fully kind of address it?
do you think it's possible that there's going to be a second book that addresses that?
It's possible. Like, this is definitely setting itself up for a sequel.
And my thing was like I feel like it was like you said there were some sizzling moments, but there wasn't like a lot of flirtiness, and I like a little bit more flirtiness.
I kind of liked their flirtiness though. They were like cheeky to each other, and I like that.
Well, and I like the fact that he had a stutter and it like showed like how you can work on that and overcome it. But he was also a romantic lead even though he had a stutter.
Yeah. Well, but I also like the fact that she was friends with Manish.
Yeah.
Um and he was like just a great guy, and like he would have been a great romantic lead himself, but they were friends, and you very rarely, especially in a romance book, see a mixed gender friendship
Well, and I
where
kind
one
of
of them is not
wondered
gay.
if that was going to be the next book, Manish falling in love.
That would be cute.
Yeah.
I, yeah, I don't know. I mean, I definitely think that I would be reading in this world.
Yeah.
I mean, it was fun enough, and it went quick enough, and I enjoyed the characters enough. Um, is it the best thing I've read in the last 6 months? No. But I enjoyed it. Well, I read it.
Right, no. And like if we had a copy like on our new book display, and because I get asked sometimes like I would hand them like, yeah, this you might enjoy this. So we should probably just rate it.
Okay.
So our rating system starts with 5 unicorns. We got under 2 unicorns. If we don't like it, it's a horse.
So I'm at 3 unicorns. Because I enjoyed the uniqueness of the characters in that they were responsible adults that you don't ever really see in books like this.
That is where I like, and plus I also like that because I'm also at a 3. But I also like they're responsible adults. They're adults. They're grown ups. But I also feel like you don't get a lot of like romance stories where the main character is Indian,
That's true.
and I
And
appreciated
I
it.
like your point about the fact that the main male lead has a stutter and he's still able to, be the male lead. He's not perfection, and I'm okay with that. He's real.
Right. It's like she created this diversity, and it worked. It wasn't like we're gonna just cram things at you. So that is where we are on the boy toy, and we'll see you around.
Bye.
Bye.